I have been sitting here trying to figure out how to start this, and I really don't know, but I guess we'll just dive in. As you can tell from the title, I just had surgery, and this past 30 days has been crazy for me. And so, excuse me, my throat is still irritated from surgery. Also, disclaimer, I look really bad, just really not feeling too great, and maybe while I'm sharing my story I might cry or something, and if I do, I apologize. Just a lot to take in. I just wanted to share my story and kind of as therapy and to help others. And I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to cut anything out. I kind of want it to be raw and personal, I guess. So here I am being very vulnerable. And, just with my information, do what you wish. I hope it brings awareness. Yeah, so the past 30 days has been really crazy for me. August 11th, I went to work, and it was like any other normal day. It was a Thursday. That next day, I was supposed to start my monthly, yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna experience a little bit of cramps, not a big deal. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. My symptoms every month are freaking different. So I woke up feeling fine, no cramps, and I got around for work, fed the cats, everything. About 30 minutes later, I felt, a little bit of cramping. I was like, okay, well, this sucks, but it is what it is. It's normal. So, what can you do about it? So I, didn't think anything of it. I was like, well, when I get to work, I'm just going to take some Tylenol and hopefully be good to go for the rest of the day. So from my house to my job is about a 25 to 30 minute drive, depending if we stop by a gas station on the way. And that morning we did. I got to work and my cramps were when I left the house, they're about a 2. And by the time I got to work, they're at a 9. It was really, really bad. So I was just like, I need to hurry up. I need to go take that Tylenol. This sucks. I've experienced it before, this type of pain. It's not fun. So I, me and my fiance, we get out of the car, and to clock in is downhill, and it's quite a walk-ish. So I'm walking down, and every step I take, every second that passes, it's just getting worse and worse. And so I'm just focusing on walking at that point. Have you ever been in so much pain, it's numbing? Your body's just overwhelmed so much that it's you can't really feel it, but it's there, and it's just causes this weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, so I'm just focusing on walking. I'm trying to, keep up with him. I'm trying not to pass out. And just every walk I take, I'm just getting more and more I'm about to pass out. So we finally get down there, and I'm I just gotta go to the bathroom. I've got to sit down. The bathroom's right next to the clock. So I was I have got to sit down. I can't make it to my sewing machine. I can't walk to my other department. And so I left all my stuff with him, and I just went straight into the bathroom. I sat there, and I just got so hot and so pale, and I was surely to God, I've started my period. All this pain, I've got to be starting. And no, I wasn't. And I was well, that's crazy. So I've sit there for about 15 minutes and I'm so hot and so weak. I'm like, okay, I've got to somehow get to my sewing table, which is huge. I sew carpet for boats. So, very huge. Like, 4 people can lay on it, sprawled out. Like, huge, huge table. So, I was like, okay, if I make it there, I can lay down and kind of take all of that freaking pain medication, Tylenol, and hope this all passes. So I like dart. Like everyone's like, "Oh, good morning, Winter," and I'm like, "No, I can't talk right now. Like I'm in a really bad situation." So, if you hear my fiance's dog whining, he's a crybaby. Aren't we all? Anyways, um, so I get to my table, I lay there, and like I take 2 Tylenol and I lay on my table for 45 minutes before I can get through that I'm gonna pass out feeling. So I'm just laying there. It's horrible and it's embarrassing because people are like, what is she doing laying on her table? Like that's weird. And it's just so humiliating. It was so embarrassing. I'm gonna cry because it was so embarrassing. But anyways, I take that Tylenol and like an hour, nothing happens. I took 2. And so, or no, sorry, correction. I took 3. Nothing happened. So at 8 o'clock, by this time when I took the Tylenol, it was about 5:25 in the morning. So I waited till 8 o'clock and I took another 3. And I took a total of 6 Tylenol that morning before the pain was even like manageable. Like it didn't go away at all. Like it was still pretty bad, but I could kind of function. I could sew my carpet for the day, and everyone's like, "Oh, you can go home if you need to." Like it's obvious you're in a lot of pain, and I was like, "Well, like I can't afford it." I used all my sick time, my vacation. I think I had like 1 vacation day left, and that's gotta last me till January, till my anniversary. So I was like, no, like, really need this money. So I coped. It was a hard Thursday. August 11th was a long fucking day. Excuse my French. If you know me, I'm a cusser, so sorry. So anyways, I go home. I still have not started my period at this point. I'm like, how, with all the pain, has this not caused me to start? So the next, well, no, I'm jumping too far ahead. So later on that night, I go to bed with my heating pad on and everything, and I'm like, okay, I made it through a hard day. I can make it through tomorrow, and then it's the weekend, so I can do this. So I go to bed, and oh my gosh, I could not sleep. Like the pain would wake me up from my sleep, and I just went to the bathroom and I just bawled. At that point, I'd been in pain for almost 24 hours, severe pain. I just cried. It hurt so bad. I was so exhausted. I just wanted to sleep. I just wanted to, conquer the day. But I knew after being up, I was like, there's no way I can go to work tomorrow. Like, I've had this happen before. I need to go to the emergency room. Like, I just need a doctor. Like, something is not right. I had back up to 2017. I was working at another factory, and it was like August. I don't know, somewhere around summertime. It was freaking hot in there. I do know that much. It was summertime. And I went to the bathroom. I started my period. No cramps. I was fine. I, used tampon, TMI. I used a tampon, and again, no cramps. Literally not even 2 minutes, like a minute after getting out, washing my hands, walking back to tool, back to where I worked, I went pale. Like, I was gonna pass out. Like, I was in so much pain, and it didn't register like, oh, it's your period, or anything like that. I was just like so lightheaded and dizzy. And we were checking my blood sugar, we were checking my blood pressure. Everything was fine. No one could figure out. And so I was like, well, that's weird. That's really odd. So I was like, well, whatever it is, I need to go home. Like, I can't work in this hot environment. I can't stand up, which my job required me to pack pillows, like, pack a pillow every 7 seconds. Like, I had to be fast, and there was no way I could do it. So I had my boyfriend at the time drive me home, and I just immediately just stripped. I stripped everything, and I laid right in front of that AC, and I finally fell asleep. And when I woke up, I felt fine. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I just got overheated. I didn't know about heat exhaustion at the time. And I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's my blood sugar. Who knows? Not a big deal. But I do recall the rest of that cycle being very painful, and it still didn't dawn on me, like, it's probably your cycle. Like, hello, dumbass. But I didn't. I was like 21 or 22. I was really stupid. Didn't know. So I did some research, and I found out about endometriosis. And all the symptoms were what I was experiencing. So I thought I had that. And I was like, okay, so endometriosis. It's very common. Some say it's 1 out of 4. Some say it's 1 out of 10 women have it. If you don't know about endometriosis and you are a female, please do some research into that. I think someone's got to be an advocate for us females because we don't know anything, and it is really sad. We don't know anything. No one teaches us shit about our body parts, and it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible, and it's sickening, and it really pisses me off. So yeah, I found that, and I was like, well, I probably got that, and they can only say you have it through surgery. Like, you can't see it on CAT scans, MRIs, anything like that. It's not visible. It will not show up. They've got to go in and see what they call adhesions, which are like scar tissue. And every month you bleed. Well, you also internally bleed. Like, instead of it all coming out like it's supposed to, you'll internally bleed. Yeah. And that's what causes scar tissue. That's what causes painful sex, urinating, bowel movements, all sorts of just issues, which I have all of those. So I was like, well, probably got that, but whatever. And at the time, I wanted to get laparoscopic, can't pronounce it, surgery to see if I had that. And everyone's just like, surgery? You don't need surgery. It's not a big deal. Like, kind of like you're being overreacting. And so that makes me want to cry. That was hard. Like, no one would believe me. Like, something's wrong. Just need a second. This is really hard. It's just hard when no one believes you. And you're like, overreacting. But you're not overreacting. It sucks. So, anyways, the next 4 years, I just ignored it. I was like, it's endometriosis probably. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Like, it is. It's not. Type of thing. It's probably what I have. So, here we are back in August 12th, last month, and I was back in that position. I was just, this isn't normal. Like, I just need pain medicine. I just wanted to sleep. So I went to the emergency room and I told the doctor straight up, I was like, I think I have endometriosis. Like, I'm about to start my period. I still haven't. I'm supposed to start today. And I know this has to do with that. Like, 100% I know. I had a cyst erupt spring of last year. That was painful. Very painful. If you have a cyst, do not have sexual intercourse because they can erupt and it's not fun. And this is TMI, and sorry to all my families watching this, but if I can save someone that freaking pain, like, if you have a cyst and you can feel it, and just avoid sexual intercourse or just any, like, exercising, anything with a lot of movement, because it can erupt very easily. But anyways, I go in there and tell him all that, and he's like, okay, we're gonna do a CT scan. Asked if I was pregnant. I was like, pretty sure I'm not, but whatever. Yeah, we can check. I get it, protocol. But at the time, I haven't peed. I haven't drank any water or any food. At this point, it was like 8 in the morning, and I woke up at like 7. So, nurses were a little rude about that, threatened me with catheter. And, I think like about 9:30, I finally peed. I didn't know I had to pee, which is really, I think, part of the endometriosis, or whatever. Sometimes I don't know I have to pee until I pee, and I'm like, oh, oops, didn't feel that. Or sometimes it's really very, very difficult to pee, like painful to pee. So anyways, finally did that, did the CAT scan. Got out of there about noon. Before we got out there, the doctor came in and was like, oh yeah, you have 2 cysts, one on your left, one on your right ovary. Make a follow-up appointment. That was it. Just kind of like, get the fuck out. And so that was disheartening, because I was like, I just wanted pain medicine. Like, I was in so much pain. I was crying off and on in there, which was, again, embarrassing. Never had a CT scan. That was freaking scary, emotional. Like, I guess because of my childhood and kind of being in the hospitals quite a bit. Not me personally, but a family member. Like, I guess I have maybe like PTSD or something with hospitals. They're not fun. Especially this one, because this was the hospital I was at all the time. So, growing up, it was like a second home. But anyways, we got out there, and he wanted me to give Dr. Smith, the OBGYN at the hospital, a call. So I did. They had a follow-up appointment, and I remember I made a status like, I'm in so much freaking pain. Like, what do y'all do for cyst pain? And you know, I was like, I went to the ER, and everyone was just kind of like, oh, it's painful, you just gotta get over it. Pretty much like, oh yeah, I've got multiple cysts and it's normal, you just kind of need to deal with it. And so that was disheartening, because I was like, I felt like I overreacted by going to the emergency room, and I was like, wow, okay, like, I shouldn't have, like, I just wasted so much of my money going there for nothing. Like, all these women deal with it, and they're not going to the emergency room. Like, I have no right to go to the emergency room. Like, I'm just overreacting. I'm 26 years old. I have no right to go. So, and that sucked. Anyways, and so I just dealt with it. I took so much Tylenol, more than a healthy dose, to cope. Finally started my period during the CT scan. Isn't that lovely? Lovely, lovely. Lovely. So, made my appointment. He was packed, cram-packed with appointments. They managed to squeeze me in that following Thursday at like 4 o'clock. So I went in there and literally just a 2-second visit was just like, yep, you have a cyst on your left ovary that's 4 centimeters and it's going to need to be surgically removed. And I was like, oh, okay, that's all right. So that was it. He's like, make a follow-up appointment next week for a ultrasound, and then he'll be out for a conference that week. So I had to make a follow-up appointment for the next week after that to discuss the results. So in that 2 weeks, I decided to just check YouTube, do my own research on cysts, different types of cysts. And I want to say right now, I don't know why I'm fidgeting with my little scissors, but I'm not going to cut anyone. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you think you have a cyst and it is causing pain, sister, go get that checked out. I don't care if anyone says, oh, I've had cysts, oh, they come and go, it's not a big deal. It can be. It can be a big deal, and I'm an advocate for every female who has a cyst. Go get it checked out. You're not overreacting. It sometimes is normal, but you have a dermoid cyst, which can be made up of teeth, hair, skin. It can be made up of so many things, and guess what? That can't go away. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So go get that checked out in case you have a dermoid cyst. You might have a simple cyst. You might have a hemorrhagic, I can't even pronounce it, which is what I had. It's pretty much just a cyst full of blood, which is caused by endometriosis. Yeah. Sometimes. Actually, like, most of the time it is. I don't think they're always associated with endometriosis, but and then sometimes you can have a complex cyst, and that can be ovarian cancer. And while it is rare for women under 45 to have ovarian cancer, it is not impossible. And there's no one being an advocate for that. I didn't know what that was until I did all this research. So it's very important to get just checked out. You know, if you don't feel like the OBGYN is taking you serious, go find someone who is. You just never know. Like me. You just don't know. So in that 2 weeks, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, what type of cyst is it? Like, they were giving me no information on it. And I was like, what type of cyst? Like, is it cancerous? Do I have ovarian cancer? Do I have, what's going on? I don't know. And so that 2-week wait was horrible. And when I went to the emergency room, I got, blood tests and everything. They didn't go over that with me. And so I went on my patient portal thing and I pulled up the results and I did a little bit of Googling on my test results. The results, if they were normal, like the text was black, but it was orange if it was too high or too low. So I went in there and I Googled some stuff like, what does it mean to have this when it's too high? What does it mean when this is too low? And it pointed signs of infection. My lymph nodes down towards my pelvis were swollen. I was having odd discharge. And so I was like, what if it is cancerous? What is this? Like, what the hell's going on? So, I forgot where I was going with this. But it was just a long wait. It was horrible. Like, I cried off and on. It was not fun. And I would look up ultrasound results of different types of cysts because I knew the person doing the ultrasound couldn't discuss it because she wasn't my doctor. So I was like, I need a little bit of information to what to look for. So I did that. Don't do that. It's pretty confusing. Like, it's not straightforward. So don't advise doing that. I thought I had cancer and I cried after the ultrasound. excuse my dog, who's really annoying. Probably, hold up. Riku! Riku! Stop it! Okay, anyways, back. But, anyways, don't do that. It went south for me. I don't have cancer. Don't have cancer. We're good. We're good. So, that's good. Thank God. So anyways, that result appointment to discuss it with Dr. Smith came, and he was just like, oh yeah, the left one's gone now. It's like so tiny, and your right ovary is now 6 centimeters. And so I was like, what the fuck? How does that even happen? Oh my gosh, hold up. Freaking dogs, man. I tell you, they're just as bad as kids. But anyways, so I'm like, what the fuck? Like, okay, cool, I guess. So then he's like, well, do you want surgery? And so I'm like, well, you wanted to have surgery on this 4 centimeter cyst, and now I've got the 6 centimeter cyst. Like, probably, I guess, like, and it would also help me know if I have endometriosis. So it was kind of like kill 2 birds with 1 stone type of thing. And I didn't want it to get bigger. I was like so scared it was gonna erupt again because that was so painful. So I was like, yeah, just want it out. I'm done. I want it gone before my next cycle, I was hoping. And so he's like, okay, we'll set you up an outpatient procedure and all that. Okay. So fast forward a week and a half, last Friday, I had my surgery. And I haven't talked to Dr. Smith since my surgery. I have my follow-up appointment tomorrow. So comment down below if y'all want me to make like another like follow-up video on this mess that I'm dealing with. And I will. This is like therapeutic. It's just kind of helping me absorb everything and kind of heal internally, mentally, everything. So yeah. So anyways, had my surgery. It was probably like not even an hour long. It was really quick surgery. And he talked to my fiance about it and said, well, couldn't remove the cysts in her right ovary. So imagine your ovary is the size of an almond. I'm trying to find something to represent. I don't know. Just picture a little baby almond. That's your ovary. And I had a 6 centimeter cyst in that little almond, which is a little bit bigger than a lime. So that ovary is just pretty much just a goner. I'm more than likely sure of. Anyways, he says that, best we could do is drain it. We couldn't remove it. It's still there. My cyst is still in there. My ovary is still in there. And sure enough, I did have an infection, I guess, from the ovary, So that freaking sucks. Yeah, but it's so upsetting to think about, like, shit, lovely. Cool, great. So anyways, that, and I have signs of PCOS, and I have endometriosis. So that's just a lot to take in. And, I'm still coming out of surgery. I get in my fiance's car, and we're going to get my freaking pain medicine, and just hearing all that, and I was just like, I knew it wasn't going to be as simple as they were making it out to be. If you listen to any of these cystectomy stories, they're all different. It always sounds so simple. They're like, oh, we're just going to go in. We're just going to remove it. And then while they're trying to remove it, there's like issues. There's always issues. And so many women lose a freaking ovary. And it might be cancerous or just something. So I just knew it was not going to be that simple. And sure enough, I was right. And it's sad. And he told my fiance I can't get pregnant. If I do, well, he didn't want to say I can't, but the odds are very slim. And if I do, I have a pretty good chance of miscarriage. And during our appointments for the surgery, he asked me, like, how many kids do you have? I said, none. And he asked, well, when would you, like, do you want any? I said, yes. Like, as soon as we get married, I'd really love to start a family. This is my music room, and this was gonna be the nursery if ever conceived. It's just, you know, it just sucks. Because I knew, like, for 5 years now that I just felt like I couldn't have kids. I felt there was something wrong, and I'm so upset. For 5 years, I've had issues. I've had painful periods. I've had painful bowel movements, urination, intercourse, and now all sorts of, just issues. And I'm really upset I didn't, like, really advocate for myself. I told my OBGYN, or my gynecologist, through the health department, I was like, I think I have endometriosis. And she was like, yeah, just take birth control. Just limit your periods. And when my cyst erupted, I made a doctor's appointment. I was like, I think it was a cyst. And we checked my lungs, we checked my colon, we checked my urine, we did blood tests, and everything came back fine. And she's like, yeah, it was probably just a cyst. She's like, I didn't want to do an ultrasound because that can be hard on your reproductive organs, and I understood. But, looking back, I wish we would have done it, because it's like, what if we could have found something a little bit sooner, a year and a half sooner? Or my gynecologist at the health department, it'd been nice to been told, like, okay, you need to go see an OBGYN, just to get a better look. Like, it would have been really nice, and it just really sucks so much. So here I am. I'm healing from my surgery. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, so 5 days after my surgery. My throat's still sore. My incisions, I just got 2. Most of the time you get 3, so it's really weird that I only have 2. But anyways, I am, like, bruised to bits. Like, I don't know if anyone else has had this type of surgery, but, like, here's my belly button, and it's just bruised. Like, don't mind my little gimpy finger. Okay, so here's my little belly button, my gimpy finger too, whatever. And, like, at least this much is freaking bruised. It's horrible. It's not fun. So I took 2 weeks off because my job, I have to throw heavy rubber back carpet. It's really hard on your body, and I just didn't want to risk anything. And I'm kind of just taking this time off to just heal mentally, physically. Kind of grieve, I guess. I don't know about my left ovary. So while he did say, like, it's impossible, like, not impossible, but it's gonna be really hard, he didn't say anything about my left ovary. So I'm hoping tomorrow's appointment he'll be like, yep, your right ovary is not doing good, but your left ovary, like, you can still conceive. I'm really hoping that's the case tomorrow. So if you could send me some positive vibes on tomorrow's fall appointment, that'd mean a lot. I really don't know. I don't know where my life stands right now. It's kind of shitty. it sucks. Like, I'm kind of like depressed, I guess, because this wasn't like what I was planning to do with my fall. Like, I just got engaged back in May, and I was planning a wedding, and I was so excited, and I still am, but now I'm in so much debt that I probably can't have a wedding. So, probably just a courthouse wedding. Sorry for all the tears. Like, I just want to be real with everyone, and I hope any women that are in the same situation, just this helps them. I don't know. I know, YouTube helped me a lot in those 2 weeks. I learned a lot that I wish I was taught. I wish I was taught about cysts and cancers that we could get. Not only cervical cancer, not only ovarian cancer, you have cervical cancer and all this. And I thought when we got our pap smears that checked for all cancers that us women could get. Obviously not breast cancer, but all down there. No, that just checks you for cervical cancer. And they call ovarian cancer a silent killer because there's no way of finding out until you have a cyst. And they go in and see it's like a tumor. And they do a biopsy, and that's how they find out. There's no other way. There's not much research. There's not much funding into it. It's women. Who cares? Men can't get this cancer. It's not a big deal, is how it feels. Like, breast cancer is so widely known, and I feel like it's because a slight chance of men getting it, so they're like, oh, we need to fund this. But cervical cancer, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer, I think I pronounced that right, it's just like shitted on. They don't care. No one cares. And it's so disheartening to be a female. And if I can have a daughter of my own one day, I'm gonna teach her what to look for, teach her about her body that we don't know. I don't want her spending 5 years trying to figure out, well, what the fuck's wrong with me, If I can educate her and, maybe prevent something. And if I can't have a kid, if I don't ever have a daughter, just educate other people's daughters to just get checked. You're not hurting anything. You're not overreacting at all. Your feelings are valid. Like, your feelings are very valid. So, I'm probably about to wrap this up. But, yeah, just let me know down below if y'all want to hear about my follow-up appointment tomorrow and how things go. Maybe keep track of this journey. I do feel like with this ovary in me, I'm probably gonna have to have another surgery to remove it. Like, they can fill up again. While that cyst is still there, like, it can cause issues again. And at this point, I just want it removed. I just want the whole ovary removed. If it can't produce me a baby, just remove it. Like, there's no point. I don't want any more infections. I don't want any more cysts, Like, I just have so much to discuss tomorrow, I guess. Just a lot. It's a waiting game. But I just realized, if this stresses you out, probably end the video, but some pictures from my surgery. I don't know. This stuff fascinates me. But, yeah. So if you want to see that, I got it for you. Oh, okay. So, this is, like, my ovary, and, like, here's the cyst, if I am not mistaken. Like, my nails look gross. Sorry. Anyways, like, That's so crazy. I don't know. As much as I'm spending on my surgery, I'm like, I deserve these freaking pictures. You know? Freaking almost $4,000 later, I deserve some freaking photos of my innards, you know? I wish I had more, like, of the endometriosis, of, like, the adhesions to see how bad it is. I, like, wish I could have talked to my surgeon, but tomorrow I'll get to. And we'll just see how it goes. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my therapy session. Thanks for, I don't know, caring. I just feel pretty alone right now. Like, a lot of people I know are pregnant, and I'm gonna start crying. Like, why do I do this? I'm sorry. I'm grateful. I have a good life. Like, I don't want people to think. Like, I'm happy for everyone who is pregnant. I just really hope one day I can experience that. And this can be a nursery one day. My little music. My little Pokemon stuff. It's a little bit of a mess because after surgery I couldn't sleep on my back because of the air. So I had to sleep in my recliners. So my room is a disaster. So, thank you again. I hope everyone has a good day. Today is my mother's birthday. I lost her on 16. So she's not here. But I do wish her a happy birthday. And she's greatly missed. So, if you know my mom or knew her, you know, send her a little happy birthday up in heaven or wherever you believe, wherever, just positive vibes. Be greatly appreciated. Okay. Hope everyone has a good Wednesday and be an advocate for yourself. If you think something's wrong, go make an appointment. You're not hurting anything. Much love.